Obscene? No, Minister Watts, what's obscene is your ignorance. The real obscenity here isn't contract employment in the Ministry of Youth Development and National Service, it's the blatant political gaslighting coming from Minister Phillip Watts. On May 14, 2025, the Trinidad Express reported that newly appointed Minister of Sport and Youth Affairs, Phillip Watts, launched an audit into contract hirings done under the previous administration. Minister Watts described the appointments as obscene and suggested that individuals, many aligned with the former ruling party, were given high-paying roles without proper qualifications. Among his claims, some workers were unreachable, had not been reporting to duty, and were collecting public funds unjustly. But the entire premise of Minister Watts' outburst is built on misinformation or deliberate distortion. What he has painted as corruption is, in reality, the necessary and often bureaucratically complex process of building a functioning ministry from the ground up. Let's set the record straight. 1. Ministers do not hire staff. They cannot. Staffing decisions in the public service are handled by the Permanent Secretary, with terms and approvals governed by the Chief Personnel Officer and guided by Cabinet where necessary. No minister, past or present, has the legal authority to hand out jobs. So this notion of Foster Cummings orchestrating some mass contract hiring spree is political fantasy. 2. This was a new ministry. The Ministry of Youth Development and National Service was created in 2020 in response to increasing calls for dedicated national youth development programming. Mr. Cummings was appointed in 2021, following a cabinet reshuffle after the death of then-Minister Franklin Khan. Program development began shortly after, and by 2022, these initiatives required staff, contracted or otherwise, to get off the ground. Temporary contracts are standard in such cases until permanent structures are put in place. 3. Context is conveniently missing. The figures paraded by the media, contracts ending in June or July 2025, offer no clarity on how long those individuals served, what work they did, or whether they were rolling over from earlier phases of ministry development. In some cases, persons may have served for several contract cycles, having been involved since programmed inception. What is clear is that the reporter avoided naming names for fear of opening a legal can of worms. 4. The public service moves like molasses. Everyone in Trinidad and Tobago knows how long it takes to formalize positions, transfer staff, or get records updated. That lag is precisely why contract labor is used to get the work done while the bureaucracy catches up. And for a new ministry, the need for quick staffing solutions would have been even more acute. 5. The programs at stake are important and far-reaching youth agricultural programs, national service initiatives, entrepreneurship incubators, and skills development workshops were all launched between 2022 and 2024. These programs helped vulnerable young people access opportunities, training, and mentorship. Minister Watts now risks destroying them under the guise of fiscal responsibility. But here's the worst part: instead of assessing and continuing worthwhile youth programs, Minister Watts is busy stirring cheap scandal to distract from his own inaction. He isn't cleaning up corruption, he's sabotaging continuity. The very people hired to build out national service, youth agriculture, and business programs are now being targeted and demoralized. Mr. Watts, your job is to evaluate the programs you inherited, not destroy the credibility of public officers doing the work you now benefit from. If you find inefficiencies, fix them. But don't stand on a soapbox throwing stones when you clearly don't understand the system you now lead. To the public, we say this: do not be fooled. This is not about transparency. It's about political deflection and character assassination. The timing, an election year, the language, obscene salaries, and the silence on actual performance or program outcomes are telling. This is spin, not scrutiny. We call on the media to investigate why these programs were created, what impact they've had, and who truly benefits from their disruption. And we call on Minister Watts to stop playing politics with people's livelihoods. Obscene. Minister Watts, no. What's obscene is your incompetence, your lack of understanding, and your readiness to throw public servants under the bus to score headlines. Defending dignity. Demanding truth.